This is the Cleveland Browns Dog Pound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. Well, the Browns are undefeated in preseason. Woo! Well, let's just put a little break on that. The last time that happened was 2017, and they didn't win another game. But I do have to admit that I am getting a totally different vibe this year that I did in 2017. In 2017, after the preseason games were over and they went, I believe, 4-0. I may be mistaken. I just still had a sense of dread. I don't know why. I had a sense of dread. But this year, I'm not gonna. I know I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker. I used to be. I'm not I am not optimistic. I am not pessimistic. I'm a realist, and the Browns have made me that. But I'm cautiously getting good vibes from this offseason. It was a little more physical, even if they weren't tackling to the ground every session. They were hitting hard, according to people at practices that I know, and especially Tony Gross, who right now, of all the Cleveland beat writers, is being the most logical beat writer. Listen to Tony. He's actually giving you the truth, and has been, despite being yelled at by other media members who have an agenda. This time around, Tony doesn't have an agenda, and he is being very logical, which I appreciate. Logic is the greatest thing in the world. So, like I said, I'm cautiously having good vibes about this team. Now, the first 6 games are a murderous row. Everybody, you don't have to be an optimist or pessimist or whatever to see that. Those are 6 tough games, and that'll determine how this season goes. I'm going to wait till further into training camp before I express any opinion about those first 6 games, but they are tough. But then in the NFL, things can change in a heartbeat. I've said this before. The Browns in the AFC North, Cincinnati, who doesn't have a defense. Then you've got Pittsburgh, and back in the day, Pittsburgh fans, about this time, were going Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl or bust. Now they're going, please God, win a playoff game or bust. Please God, win a playoff game or bust. And Baltimore, they are just a juggernaut. But the last couple of years, they have been one of the healthiest teams in the NFL. Last year, they were the second healthiest. And injuries do play a part in what happens to teams. So the next 2 weeks are going to be very, very important for the Browns and all the other teams in the NFL. Now, let's get to the game. Very easy going. Joe Flacco was very easy going with the offense. And the offense was very vanilla. So, and he fit right in because they look good. They move the ball. They look good. No penalties. First time all the first teamers have played in a live game action, well, minus a few. No penalties, look good. Second teamers, Dillon Gabriel, started out really rough. You could tell he wasn't in rhythm. But then there's something about this under 2 minutes before the half where he just starts getting in a rhythm. He did it against Philadelphia with 1:57, and led to a field goal. And he did it again yesterday with I believe 1:37. I was trying to keep track of it. And then went right down the field. Now, I know, second and third teamers, but he had second and third teamers. So, yeah, that aspect of Gabriel I really like. I also like how the offensive line can both block and protect a right-handed quarterback and a left-handed quarterback. That shows a little versatility in that offensive line if you really want to think about it. Now, Shedeur Sanders came in, and, I want the kid to succeed. He's a Cleveland Brown, so I'm going to root for him. That's just the way I am. He's going to make the roster. He's not going to be cut. He's not going to be put on the practice squad. Somebody will claim him, and the Browns won't get out of him what they want to get out of it, which is a potential future starter. He is athletically his ceiling can be very, very high. We pretty much know what Dillon Gabriel is. He's going to be like your Jacoby Brissett, but a little more successful. But Sanders, his ceiling is very high. And the way they've treated him is completely fair. You saw it yesterday. The depth at quarterback, come on, it's always the quarterback rotation is 1 Flacco, 2 Pickett, 3 Gabriel, 4 Sanders, and you saw it yesterday. So just chill on the Sanders stuff. These Colorado fans are just going berserk. And for certain players and people to imply that Kevin Stefanski is putting him down because it's racially motivated is just plain stupid. Jacoby Brissett had his best season under Kevin Stefanski. In 23, they beat the number 1 team at the time, the San Francisco 49ers, with P.J. Walker. Okay? He had no problem with Jameis Winston until Jameis Winston started throwing too many interceptions and calling his own plays. Can't do that. So just chill on the Sanders stuff, okay? Yes, he regressed yesterday. I was looking for more improvement. I was looking for improvement to build on from the first game he played. Because the first game he played against Carolina, you could actually see him improving through the game. That's what I wanted to see here. I wanted him to build on that and improve. But he went back to his bad habits he had at Colorado. You know, you got to step up in the pocket. You do. You do. You can't run around out there like that in the pros. First preseason game, sidelines. Myles Garrett had a microphone on. Sanders started talking to him about him running around. And what did Myles tell him? Don't do that, kid. You know, you got one of the best defensive players in the league telling a rookie, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to get hurt. He's lucky he didn't get hurt. And no, he wasn't playing hurt. They wouldn't have put him in. It's a meaningless preseason game. They wouldn't have played him if he was hurt. And that's why they had Tyler Huntley, in case anybody else got hurt again. So, and I saw somebody post online that, you know, he wasn't given a chance because of the players around him and the players he was playing against. I hate to tell you this, Tyler Huntley played with the same people, against the same people, and went down and got the game-winning field goal. All right? So let's just forget about that. All right. The kid just needs time. You can't automatically go from college, especially the offenses he was in, and immediately become a success in the NFL. It would do him no favors to play. Let's take a quick break. Okay. Brought to you by Hemisphere Coffee. They shake the hands of the farmer. Let's talk a little bit more about the game. It was revealed yesterday in Kevin Stefanski's press availability that Aiden Huntington has made the roster. Andrew Berry told him that. And good. I've been in this kid's corner since they signed him. I love this kid. He's a defensive end on the roster, but he can play tackle. He's 280. He's what they call a tweener. But, man, special teams tackles. He has one of the highest win rate percentages in preseason on the Browns and in the league. And, you know, back-to-back sacks yesterday. And he started the game on offense as a blocking back. Pay attention to that. because that'll lead to, I'll get to that here in a minute. So, other than that, I think there's still a few question marks. I'm not entirely happy with the fourth tackle, Barton Jackson. I think the Browns will look to improve that. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't, he was eh. He was practice squad, is what he was. Um, Running back. The league is dragging their feet on Quinshon Judkins, and I don't know why. It makes no sense. They should let the Browns know what's going on before Andrew Berry and the front office have to make tough roster decisions that will affect other players' lives. The league is being stupid. Hey, NFL, wake the hell up. Give us an outcome so we can move on. Now, there's a little concern that Pierre Strong had a concussion, so we don't know how his status is going to go. We've seen concussions last a week. We've seen them linger for almost a month. It all depends. There is no such thing as a slight concussion. I had one as a kid. Your brain literally moves in your skull. So, and it's not supposed to. So, yeah, that's a concern. I would keep an eye on Audric Estime out in Denver. Denver has 5 running backs right now. Tommy Rees was his offensive coordinator in Notre Dame. I liked him out of Notre Dame. He strong back. So keep an eye on him. They can't keep all of them, and he is like 4th or 5th on the depth chart right now in Denver. And they're not going to keep 4 running backs. So there's the name to watch. Other position group, corner. I am so disappointed in Cam Mitchell. He didn't get picked on as much, but still. After Ward and Newsome, these are just a bunch of average guys. I was hoping somebody would step up. Miles Harden, Nick Needham is the only one stepping up, and he just went from safety to corner. So, yeah, that's a group to pay attention to. Andrew Berry likes to do trades. If there's a guy he likes on another team, he will do a trade so he doesn't have to wait to the waiver wire. Although they're picking second in the waiver wires. So anybody the Tennessee Titans don't want, the Browns could have a clear shot at. And talking about all this, either today or tomorrow, I'm hoping today, I'll have my latest 53-man roster prediction article. It's an initial one. I'll just give you a few little hints. They're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. I listened to Andrew Berry talk during the entire third quarter, which I could concentrate on so I didn't have to watch Shadir Sanders running around the field like a maniac. And after listening to him talk, I am convinced they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. And after watching Gabriel and Sanders, while Gabriel was competent and good, he started out rough. Do you really want either one of those rookies one heartbeat away if Flacco gets hurt? You don't. So I fully expect them to keep 4 quarterbacks. If you read my article, the position group, and I said this to John yesterday at post game, position group I would take one player off of is tight end. There has not been a number 3 tight end who's really stood out consistently in the 3 games. You can stash like an extra tight end on the practice squad, and they started the game having Aiden Huntington in as a blocking back. They can do that. Your number 3 tight end is mostly going to be about 90% of the time is going to be a blocker. So why not use a defensive tackle or an extra offensive lineman as that 3rd tight end? Therefore, you can keep 4 quarterbacks. So other than that, Tuesday, 4 o'clock Eastern, cut down day. It's a good time for the Browns to pick up some talented players. A lot of talented players are going to be hitting the waiver wire. A lot of running backs are going to be hitting the waiver wire. Remember, this was a great running back draft. And you even got good running backs as undrafted rookie free agents. So there are going to be some veterans who are going to be let go. And the Browns, like I said, pick second. Now, the last thing I'd like to talk about is place kicker. The Dustin Hopkins era or error last year. He was great 2 years ago. Last year, not so good. I, I fully convinced it's over. The Schmidt kid, I did not know during the broadcast. Chris Rose said the guy won the Lou Groza Award in college as a freshman at Syracuse. I'm I'm perfectly happy with him as the kicker. I really am. Like I told John, you miss an extra point. You can go out there and kick 50 to 58-yard field goals all day long. But if you miss an extra point, that changes how the team has to play offensively for the rest of the game. It's like they're playing catch up to get that 1 point back. And it makes the coach makes decisions he shouldn't have to make. And that's what happens with Dustin Hopkins. Missed 2 extra points badly. Looked like he missed one against Carolina, but they said it was good. It was kind of like that overtime field goal by Rich Karlis against Denver in the AFC Championship game. Personally, I didn't think he made it. But yeah, no more. That's it. And they will. Right now, they are fully convinced they can't go into the season without a reliable kicker. They know that. So, and they will eat the money that they paid him. No big deal. So don't worry about that. Even if he starts on the 53-man roster initially on Tuesday and Schmidt goes to the practice squad, he will have the shortest leash in the world. And probably if they do that, they're waiting to see if a better veteran kicker becomes available. That way they can sign him and keep Schmidt on the practice squad, break class in case of emergency. Don't let your heads explode if Dustin Hopkins is on the initial 53-man roster. They just might be waiting for a better kicker to come along. So that's it for today. I hope you have a great Sunday. 2 weeks from today, we'll be getting ready for the Cincinnati Bungles home game. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. So everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for following, watching, listening, and subscribing. This has been the Cleveland Browns Dog Pound South podcast, part of the Fanatical L's Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Thank you. And go Browns.